back to the YouTube channel. I'm Pro Enzo Vid, and this is my round 2 tips for the NRL 2022 season. Yeah, look, last week I went pretty bad, you know. I got 4 out of 8. I'm sure not the only one that really had a shit week in terms of tipping. I know there's a lot of other people out there who sort of struggled with their tips. A lot of upsets last week, like Knights being Roosters and Broncos being South. So yeah, hopefully this week I kind of get something above 4. Because yeah, you know, not a great way to start my tips off for 2022. So hopefully round 2 is a bit more kinder and I get a bit more tips correct. But before I start, I hit the milestone. I hit the aim. I got to 1,500 subscribers today. Means a lot. Thank you to everyone that's recently subscribed to the channel. Yeah, 1,500 subscribers, only about halfway mark to 2,000 now. So yeah, thanks to everyone for subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. But yeah, should be a good week of footy, and this is my tips for round 2. So the first game is Storm and the Rabbitohs. So yeah, Melbourne Souths kick off round 2. This is at Amy Park, the home of the Storm. So going for the Storm team quickly. They've got a lot of injuries after last week's win against the Tigers. So Brandon Smith, broken hand, will miss at least a month, I'm pretty sure. Christian Welch, Achilles, and George Jennings' knee are both gone for the season, so they're gone. And yeah, but it helps with Munster and Harry Grant are both back to play for the Storm, which helps a lot. And then Eremay replaces Jennings on the wing. So and Bromwich is also returning as well. So yeah, they've got a couple back despite some players missing. Storm. As for our Souths, Latrell Mitchell's obviously back with from his suspension. And Blake Taft remains sidelined with an ankle injury, and Johnson goes back to the wing. So that's the only changes for Souths. For this game, you know, I like to see Souths win because obviously it's Melbourne. Don't want to ever really get with Melbourne, but you know, I think Melbourne will be too strong for Souths. I think they'll obviously get the win because it's in Melbourne, and you know their record there is superior compared to Souths' record in Melbourne. It's not really perfect at all, not great. So I think Souths will unfortunately lose, but it won't be a big loss though. So I think Storm will win. Storms win 13 plus, but it won't be the biggest 13 plus win. I think they'll win maybe 28 points to 12. I reckon 28 points to 12. So yeah, Storm by 16. Moving on to the Friday fixtures now. So the first game of 2, it is the Dragons versus the Panthers at Strata Jubilee Stadium in Cogra. So obviously Dragons home ground. Going for the Dragons changes. So Aaron Woods has a hamstring and is out. So Francis Molo starts in the front row while George Burgess, who played reserve grade last week for the Dragons, comes onto the bench. And Tarek Sims is still out as well. So yeah, that's really the only changes for the Dragons, not many. As for Panthers, Moses Leota did a shoulder injury against the my team Seagulls last week, so he'll be out for a long time, 8 weeks. So Matt Eisenhuth goes to the bench, and Spencer Lanu starts at prop, but that's the only changes there for the Panthers. For this game, pretty easy to tip. I'll keep it nice and short. I think Panthers will win 13 plus. I'll go with a scoreline of maybe Panthers 32 and Dragons 16, I reckon. 32-16. I think Dragons will be good for a bit, but Panthers will be too strong. And I think, you know, just the way they played last week, they'll back it up. On to the main game on the Friday now. It's a big one. It is the Roosters versus my team Manly at the SCG, Sydney Cricket Ground. The main game on Friday night. Going for the Roosters team quickly. Victor Radley and Billy Smith have both been named despite their head knocks they suffered against Knights last week, so they're good to go so far. There's only changes there for the Roosters. As for Manly, my team, yeah, Dylan Walker returns to the bench this week from knee injury, I believe he got. So that's good to see Walker's back, and Cooler, who played that jersey 14 role last week against Panthers, will drop to the reserves this time. So that's the only difference for Manly there. Who am I going to tip? You know, I think this week Manly should be hungry, but Roosters will be hungry as well. Both teams should be hungry for a win because they obviously lost round 1. So round 2, they'll hate to go 0-2 to start the year, but even though it's early times in the season, so it doesn't mean too much. But both teams would want to win here. So, look, even though Roosters are probably favourites to win, I will back my boys Manly. You know, if we've learned anything from that Panthers game last week, it is to control a game better and our forwards to get better. So I think our forwards will step up this week. I think having Dylan Walker ties the middle up a lot because I think we missed Walker's impact through the middle because we had no impact through the middle last week against Penrith. So I think him having there will be a difference, and I think he will help a lot. So yeah, Walker's a big in for us. And I think we'll win just. I think we'll win by about 2 points, I reckon. So maybe a scoring of Yeah, a scoreline of maybe 22 points to 20, I reckon. There'll be a couple of points scored, I reckon. So 22 points to 20, Manly win, I think. I think we'll just get the win. But, yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully, Manly to win. Now we start with Super Saturday, and it's the first game of 3. It is the Titans versus the Warriors at Seabus Super Stadium up in the Gold Coast. So Titans home game, obviously. As for Titans, their changes for this week, AJ Brimson is returning for the Titans because of a groin injury, so he'll be free to play this week. While Will Smith goes to the bench and Tanner Boyd drops out. Yeah, as for the Warriors, yeah, Reece Walsh starts at fullback and Matt Lodge returns from suspension, so they're both back for the Warriors, which is big. Chanel Harris-Tavita moves to 5'8", while Keenan Green was dropped, and yeah, Valia, Zelezniak, and Johnson are all out because of injury, and yeah, Ash Taylor plays against his former club at halfback, so interesting to see how he goes. Yeah, my tip for this game, I will tip the Titans swim only because I trust them a bit more. And I think they looked a bit better than what the Warriors did, and I think Titans, you know, yeah, I think Titans are in a better shape and sort of better overall than how the Warriors are traveling. But I wouldn't rule the Warriors out. I wouldn't rule them out. I think they're a chance to win because it's a 50-50 game. But no, I think at home Titans will be a bit too good. So Titans win by about 8 points. Now, the next game of the Super Saturday, it is the Sharks versus the Eels at PointsBet Stadium. Sharks home ground, Cronulla. So they returned there for the first time since 2019, I think. Go for the Sharks team. So Craig Fitzgibbon's back as the normal coach again for the Sharks after him catching COVID. Karen McInnes is in the reserves as jersey 18, so he might be a late inclusion for the Sharks from injury, and that's the only changes there. As for Parramatta, Sean Russell's out with a broken ribs, which is very unfortunate. So he'll be out, and Michael Blake starts in the wing while yeah, Kafusi comes into the team. Oregon Kafusi and Ryan Madison is out, and Nathan Brown joins the team as well. So yeah, a bit of reshuffling there for Parramatta, and Tom Opachik starts in the centres. For this game, I think Parramatta will be a bit too strong. You know, I think Parramatta should get the win over Sharks here. Will be a good game because both teams are sort of on the up this year. Well, I think Sharks on the up, and I think Parramatta are a team that's already sort of, you know, sort of pretty good already. So it'll be interesting to see who wins the battle. But yeah, no, I think Parramatta will be a bit too good. They should win by about 6 points at least. It will be the tight game, I reckon, for a bit. So Eels to win by about 6. Now, the last game on the Super Saturday, it is the Cowboys versus the Raiders at Queensland Country Bank Stadium up in Townsville. Yeah, for Cowboys, Jordan McLean replaces Tunua Brown because of a knee injury. Griffin Neem joins the team as well, and Tamalolo starts at lock again. So yeah, that's the only changes there for the Cowboys. Not many after they lost the Bulldogs. For Raiders, Brad Schneider, as we know, the rookie halfback, is out because of COVID. So Matt Frawley starts at halfback, and Hodgson's out for a bit. So it means that Tom Starling will start a hooker, and making his NRL debut on the bench is Adrian Trevelyan. So yeah, he'll make his debut off the bench for the Raiders, and I'll be making a review on his debut about him as well on Saturday. So yeah, in this game, I reckon Canberra will be a bit too good, I believe. I know it's in Townsville. I know Cowboys, you know, want to make it a fortress, but no, look, I just think after last week how Canberra went, I think Canberra will be way too good, and I think that they're a bit better than the Cowboys. So I think Raiders to win by about 12 points. I think they'll be a bit too good, and yeah, no, they have a bit more to show than what Cowboys do, unfortunately. So Canberra to be too good and get the win. Now we move on to Sunday footy, and it is the first game of 2. It's Knights and the Tigers at McDonald Jones Stadium up in Newcastle. So going for the Knights team first. No changes after winning against the Roosters, but there is Daniel Saifidi in the reserves who could make a late inclusion, but we'll see. That's only changes there for the Knights. Nothing really to talk about. As for the Tigers, James Tarmo returns from suspension, and Alex Twell moves to the bench, and yeah, that's the only changes as well for the Tigers. Not many changes for both Knights and Tigers. My tip for this game, yeah, this is actually, you know what? This is probably the most hardest game to tip this round, I believe. This is probably the most trickiest game to tip all round, I think. I think Manly Roosters is tough, but I think this is pretty tough as well because both teams are sort of similar, you know. Like, I know Knights beat Roosters last week, but again, can you trust them again for another week? Are they consistent? And with the Tigers, they do compete quite well, as we saw against Melbourne. They always compete at the start, but they don't maintain their consistency of competitiveness. So, yeah, it's an interesting game. But for this game, I am going to back the Tigers to win. I think Tigers will get the win here. I think they can get it done, and I will tip them to win by about 6 points. I think they'll be a bit too good, and I think they will turn up this week. Their record against the Knights is pretty good as well. So, yeah, that helps me tip the Tigers to win over their record against Newcastle. So, yeah, Tigers to win. And the very last game of the round for round 2, it is the Bulldogs and the Broncos at a core stadium, which I really hate because I prefer to be staying in Australia or just leave it at ANZ. But anyway, it's called a core stadium now, so I get used to it. But yeah, for the Bulldogs, their team, so Pangai Jr. returns from a hamstring injury, so he'll start in the back row while Waddell moves to the bench and Chris Patolo drops out. And that's really it for the Bulldogs. As for the Broncos, yeah, big news. Adam Reynolds is back from COVID, so he'll start at halfback and make his Broncos club debut. And Albert Kelly starts at 5'8" while Billy Walters drops to the bench, so which is interesting. Anticipating returns to the Broncos as well. So for this game, I think Broncos will be a bit too good since they've got a bit more attacking and they can actually score a bit more points than what Bulldogs can as well. So I'll take Broncos to win here by about 12 points. I think that they'll actually have a pretty good win, Broncos, and will be a bit too good for the Bulldogs. But yeah, Dogs can compete too, so we'll see. But Broncos to win. So guys, that's my round 2 tips for 2022. Hope you all enjoy. Make sure you do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And let me know your tips in the comment section down below. So see you in the next one.